Imagine standing before the charred remains of an abandoned French chateau, the air thick with centuries-old secrets and shattered dreams. For most, this would be where the story ends, a monument to what once was. But for Dan Preston, this was his beginning. A professional chef from Hampshire, England, Dan had everything: a career, a family, and stability. So why did he turn his back on it all for a broken pile of stones in the rural heart of France? This is not just another renovation show. This is the story of a man driven by obsession, a quest for redemption, and the hope of turning ruins into something deeply meaningful. Before his escape, Dan's world revolved around the familiar routines of a Hampshire kitchen chaise blurred in the rush of hot plates and precision timings. But something gnawed at him, a restlessness, a call for something greater. The turning point came during a personal upheaval. After a difficult family separation, Dan found himself at a crossroads, questioning what truly mattered. The safe path would have been to carry on, to patch over his quiet despair. Instead, Dan chose the path of risk, of uncertainty. He left behind his old life not for fame or fortune, but for the kind of peace that comes only from working with one's hands and heart on something real. Dan's chosen project was no ordinary fixer-upper. The chateau he purchased, later revealed as the Chateau de Chaumont, once sheltered Jewish children fleeing Nazi persecution during World War II. But after decades of neglect and a devastating fire in the 1980s, its elegant halls had been claimed by pigeons and shadows. When Dan finalized the purchase in July 2023 for just 60,000 euros a sum, both modest and reckless, the enormity of what lay ahead became clear. No electricity, no roof, floors caved in. Thick layers of soot covered every remaining surface. What followed were months of learning by trial, of sleepless nights and aching muscles. Dan posted his journey on YouTube, not just as a renovation diary, but as public therapy. Viewers saw the progress walls rising, towers restored, but few sensed the toll behind the scenes. Exhaustion, doubt, the suffocating loneliness of rural isolation. There were times when optimism ran thin and defeat felt inevitable. France's rural heartlands can be unwelcoming, especially for outsiders. No dramatic transformation escaped scrutiny in the age of the internet. As Dan's channel grew, so did the rumors. Was he truly the owner of the chateau? Did he have the expertise to handle such a colossal restoration? Critics cited engineering concerns, while others speculated about his private life and finances. The controversy swirled until official documents confirmed the sale. Through it all, Dan remained focused not on silencing his detractors, but on clearing one room, then another, transforming guilt, loss, and regret into beauty, brick by brick. What does it mean to start over with nothing? For Dan, it meant trading the noise of restaurant service for the quiet thunder of a rural thunderstorm. Days spent hunched over plans and stones, nights staring at ancient beams hoping they'd hold. The chateau was his sanctuary and his challenge. Yet, between hammer blows and the whir of the camera, there were moments of genuine joy when cracks mended, the hall filled with sunlight, and it finally began to feel alive again. As he shared with his viewers Dan's vulnerability, his willingness to show the struggle, not just the success became his greatest draw. Unlike glossy TV productions, Dan funded his work through Patreon and ad revenue, each milestone representing collective hope. His followers weren't just spectators, they became part of the journey, their encouragement and advice weaving into the fabric of the restoration. Here lies the mystery. Was Dan running away or running towards something? Each episode deepens the enigma. Was it an attempt to reclaim lost family happiness, to create a new legacy, or simply the mad courage of a man unwilling to accept an ordinary life? The chateau, battered by tragedy but refusing to disappear, mirrors Dan's own search for healing and renewal. Dan Preston escaped from his old life in England and chose the rural French countryside because he was searching for a sense of purpose, peace, and a way to start over after personal struggles. His previous career as a chef in Hampshire became exhausting and unfulfilling, and after separating from his partner, Dan faced housing uncertainty and the challenge of co-parenting in a foreign land. The move was not about running away from something specific, but a deep longing to reclaim his confidence, identity, and to build something lasting, a place where he could impose order on chaos and resurrect both the historic chateau and his life. His journey mirrors the shadows of the ruins he tries to restore, battered by circumstance but refusing to disappear. Dan's escape was driven by the desire to find a quiet purpose, the courage to leave comfort, confront loneliness, and reshape his future through resilience and restoration. Dan's journey was never linear. From dealing with the intricacies of French bureaucracy, sourcing period-appropriate materials, to navigating the logistics of building with limited help, every small victory came by overcoming adversity. At times, setbacks threatened to halt progress. Funds ran low, key repairs went awry, and self-doubt threatened to drown out the fragile hope that had brought him this far. Yet, he pressed on, each scar in the chateau matching a lesson hard-learned and freely shared with his global audience. The most dramatic moment came during the early phase of the restoration, when a critical structural repair went horribly wrong. Dan watched in helpless frustration as weeks of effort crumbled before his eyes. Instead of hiding this disaster, he did what most people would never dare. He turned on the camera and told the truth. Viewers saw the raw grief, the anger, the fear that maybe he had taken on more than he could handle. And strangely, this breakdown became a breakthrough. His honesty struck a nerve worldwide, transforming his Renovation series from a simple project diary into a powerful story of resilience. It was in these unfiltered moments, tears, sarcasm, stubborn laughter, that millions found a reason to stay, to hope, and to root for him. Today, the chateau stands as a living archive of effort and inspiration. Some rooms remain unfinished, the crumbling past echoing in every draft, yet there is life again, glimpses of a future crafted not from luck or privilege, but from sacrifice, compassion, and hope. The Chateau Dan Preston is restoring is more than just an old building. It is a symbol of hope, effort, and inspiration. Even though some parts of the chateau are still unfinished and show the marks of aging and past damage, there is new life beginning to take shape there. This is not a story of luck or easy success. It is about hard work, sacrifice, and genuine care. Unlike other YouTube renovation stars who focus on flashy results, Dan's journey draws people in because he openly shows the struggles, pain, and persistence involved in his restoration project. He is not afraid to embrace imperfection and share the real, difficult moments, which makes his story more authentic and relatable. Dan's approach involves slowly rebuilding the chateau step by step, often learning as he goes. His videos let viewers see both the successes and the setbacks, making them feel part of the journey and rather than just spectators. The chateau itself is like a living archive, holding stories from its past and the effort of the present. Dan's work is not just about fixing a building, but about bringing back the spirit of a place that once provided shelter and safety to many. This honest and heartfelt storytelling during the renovation creates a sense of connection with millions of viewers. It shows that great things take time, patience, and heartfelt dedication. Dan's story is a reminder that beauty and success come from accepting imperfections, pushing through hardships, and not giving up even when the challenge seems overwhelming. This human touch in his restoration makes the chateau more than just a renovation project. It becomes a shared dream of rebuilding and hope. Dan Preston's escape was never about running from something, but about running toward himself and building a home for all the parts of life that can't be hidden behind walls. His journey reminds us that it is not the swift, but the stubbornly hopeful who change the world, one brick at a time. This is the story viewers crave because it's the truth. A man, a ruin, a dream, and the extraordinary reality that escapes are not always about leaving, but about finding where you were meant to be all along. Thanks for watching.